Hey Tommy, did you know that the 2023, wow, that's a ways out, Subaru Solterra is here? We're going to get an early look at it in this video, and we're going to compare it to its very, I want to say almost identical twin, the BZ4X.
Yeah, the Toyota, that's right. So Toyota and Subaru came together to co-develop a brand new fully electric vehicle, and we have some really great information on the new cars. Now, basically what's happened is they've been revealed in Japan. The US reveal is happening next week. We've got a lot of the interesting information you need to know.
Yeah, it's happening at the LA Auto Show, but we thought we'd get a jump on it because remember, you saw it first on the fast lane car. So why is it called a Solterra?
Well, Solterra is a combination of sun and earth, and it's co-developed with Toyota. Obviously not the first time they've done that. Think like the Toyota 86 and then the Subaru BRZ. Now Toyota's battery electric version is called the BZ4X, which sounds like something that you would be given if you forgot the password to your Gmail account.
Let's just call it the BZ from now on. That makes it much easier.
BZ4X. And the Subaru and the Toyota look pretty much identical.
Yeah, and keep in mind, these are both the first all-electric vehicles that both Subaru and Toyota are building. So let's get into it, Tommy.
Well, this is not the first fully electric Toyota, though.
Oh, that's right. We did. I apologize. You are correct. They did partner on the RAV4 with Tesla, but easily forgotten.
And then there was also the first RAV4, which they did.
Once again, even easier forgotten.
But
they had limited range and were front-wheel drive. But this is the first. Is it fair to say first in-house?
Nope. The first one was in-house too, I think.
Oh, that's true. All right. Well, it's the first one that Subaru has done. Unless there's something I don't know.
Yeah, there might be a Subaru we're forgetting too, actually.
All right, let's talk about the styling. And if you clicked on the thumbnail, we put spot the differences because they look almost identical. At least, I think to the casual observer, unless you saw them like side by side, you would have a hard time telling them apart.
Well, there's a couple of changes. So the front fascia and the taillights are a little bit different, but the overall body structure, the overall lines, the crisp contours on the side of the vehicle, the shape of the vehicle, they're pretty much identical. We saw the black plastic body cladding on the BZ4X earlier when Toyota first revealed the concept, but it kind of fits a little better on the Subaru because Subarus are known for their black plastic cladding and their off-roadiness.
Yeah, think WRX, Outback Wilderness, that sort of thing. Now, I did get to be up close and personal with the BZ at Toyota HQ in Plano earlier this year. The car was originally unveiled at the Tokyo Auto Show. It's I'm going to go with, in quotes, futuristic-looking Toyota. It's no secret that Toyota has not doubled but tripled down on their Toyota hybrid synergy drive, and so they are kind of late to the electrification game.
But this should be a really good effort because when Toyota does something, they do it right. And let's talk about the dimensions, at least according to the Japanese spec sheet. So in nearly every measurable dimension, the Subaru is identical to the Toyota. So the wheelbase is 112.2, the length is 184.6, it's 73.2 inches wide and 65 inches tall. The one place where there is a slight variation between the two is apparently the weight. So the Solterra is a bit heavier than the Toyota. So in front-wheel drive, 4,255 pounds versus 4,233 for the Toyota. And then in all-wheel drive, 4,453 versus 4,420 for the Toyota. So a little bit heavier, but they really are identical. What do you think of this idea that two brands are making the same exact car?
Well, it worked really well with the Supra.
Did it?
I'm not sure about that.
And actually, the Supra,
that's my point.
The Supra and the BMW are pretty different looking.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
I think it worked well with the FRS and the BRZ, though.
Yeah, I'll give you that. So here's the odd thing about this, Tommy. With the Supra and the BRZ twins, right? What you're getting are low-volume sports cars that certainly, aren't the future of the automobile industry, unfortunately. And I hate to say that, but it's true. Sports cars are kind of dying on the vine. But here, what you're doing is you're going right after the heart of the electric car market, right, which is the mid-size crossover. Think about the Tesla Model Y. Think about all the other crossovers like the Mach-E. These sell in the hundreds of thousands. So it's very weird that both Toyota and Subaru have paired up on something because this is such an important car I'm surprised that Toyota, which is a much bigger company than Subaru, isn't doing this on their own. I'm just a little perplexed by this decision.
So if we look at the capability, both cars offer both front-wheel and all-wheel drive, at least in the Japanese market. That might change when they come to the U.S. So in Japan, the front-wheel drive is a single motor setup with 201 horsepower, and the all-wheel drive is a dual motor setup with 215 horsepower. Now they say that the rear motor puts out 107 horsepower on its own, but both companies only rate the all-wheel drive models 14 horsepower higher than the front-wheel drive ones, and that is due to physics, and there's a lot of complex discussion on why, but really only 15 horsepower difference between the front wheel and all-wheel drive models.
You know how they say real estate is about location, location, location?
Yep.
Well, electric cars are all about range, range, range. So tell me about the range.
Well, we don't have the official US EPA figures yet, so we're going to use the WLTP standard. But if you go off of that standard, the front-wheel drive models have slightly different figures than the all-wheel drive models, and the Toyota and the Subaru are slightly different. So Toyota says 311 miles, Subaru says 330, and then both cars have the same all-wheel drive range figure of 286.
Now keep in mind that is the WLTP standard, which usually is a little bit more optimistic than the EPA numbers.
That's exactly right. So I would figure here in the US we might see front-wheel drive range of somewhere around 280, and then all-wheel drive range of somewhere around
I'm going to go much more conservative than that. I'm thinking you're looking at 250. The other thing, of course, that defines an electric car, Tommy, is charging. How quick do they charge?
So both cars have nearly identical battery packs and charging capability. So 71.4 kilowatt hour battery with a 6.6 kilowatt onboard level 2 charger. So that's, of course, at 240 volts, and then 150 kilowatt DC fast charging capability is what they're saying at the peak rate.
Yeah, which is always variable based on a lot of factors that we don't want to bore you with right now.
Right. So interiors, again, they are pretty much exactly the same. The Subaru does not have the yoke. The concept Toyota had the yoke. I don't think that the real
So here's the story. When we were at the Plano headquarters, they had removed the yoke and put on a steering wheel.
Right.
Which to me suggests that it will have a steering wheel and not a yoke like the new Model S or the new Model X. But then when we were shooting the interior, somebody actually removed the steering wheel by accident, so it was just put on there. It wasn't actually attached.
Okay, but I think that the U.S. models are probably going to get a wheel.
That's what I'm saying.
I think the yoke was just for concept.
No, I'm saying they removed the yoke and put on a steering wheel for the U.S. Plano reveal when we were there. I think you missed my point. And when somebody got into it because they hadn't attached it, somebody actually pulled it off by accident.
And I think what you'll find is that even the Japanese versions are going to get a steering wheel on the Toyota.
Yeah, I
don't see them going with the yoke.
I've never driven a yoke, but I'm not looking forward to it.
So I'm willing to bet that the steering wheel is going to be here to stay, and certainly the Subaru version does have a steering wheel. Which is
how do you cruise like this?
So
you don't. No comment.
Well, it's a crossover.
How about like this at the bottom? That's you can't hold it there. You can't hold it there. You got to hold it like there.
It's a crossover electric SUV. You think
so
people are going to be cruising
like
gangster,
Craigster
sure. in their
or
Solterra?
Like on a road trip, you hold it at the bottom here.
All right.
Okay, I know 3 and 9. Save your comments, but let's face it, people drive like this and they drive like that, and you can't do that when you're holding it like this because there's nothing there.
On the interior of the vehicle, it looks to be very futuristic in a lot of ways, so lots of screen, lots of kind of horizontal flowing lines interrupted by a large vertical center screen. Do have a lot of piano black finish, but it looks to be quite luxurious. Of course, a digital gauge cluster. I like the dash design a lot. I think they've done a really nice job with it. And I figure that the U.S. version is going to be pretty similar, although with the steering wheel, of course, on the left-hand side of the vehicle. But yeah, the interior looks really nice.
Yeah, and then once again, identical. And then Subaru will be at the LA Auto Show next week, and they will be debuting the U.S. version of it. Of course, Subaru did not invite us, so what I would recommend, if you guys want to see it first, even though I suspect it's going to be very similar to this Japanese version, check out our friend Alex on Auto or Sophian at Redline Reviews. Those guys do great reviews as well because we unfortunately won't be there.
Yep, that's right, but we will be there for the reveal of the Toyota version, so we'll have all the details on the BZ4X coming soon.
Yeah, there's a lot coming from LA. We've got the entire team going, so next week is going to be a very busy week and some very interesting cars. We're going to have new vehicles from Range Rover, from Porsche, from Hyundai, from Toyota, I suspect, right?
BZ4X.
Yeah, BZ.
Yep.
We'll have a lot more details coming up next week. And if you guys want to keep on top of all that, the easiest way to do it is just go to TFL-studios.com, where we always put all of our podcasts, our videos, and our breaking news. Is that about it, Tommy?
That's it.
Which
Yep.
one do you want? Which one do you like better?
Neither of them currently. So
Why not?
I really don't like the design. I don't like the horsepower rating. There's nothing about this vehicle that currently interests me that much. Although hopefully when I see the Toyota in person, my opinion will change.
It's a head scratcher. You know, there are so many different kinds of vehicles out there, and yet everybody is building electric crossovers. What happened to the electric sports
Well, that's
car?
what people are buying, though, crossovers. Everyone's buying crossovers in the gasoline market, so they said, let's just make them electric and see what happens.
How about the electric convertible?
Yeah, like that. That would sell. That's funny.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, probably for a reason. Well, guys, let us know what you think, and we'll see you in the next episode.
The electric heavy-duty truck.
We'll see you on the next
All right,
episode.
see you. Bye.